done. The Grey Host has found a foothold. Now the city is lost.
Not yet, it isn't. On your feet, Sorthane. We have work to do.
Yes, Princess Svana. I apologize for that display. Tell the princess... Tell her it won't happen again. You need to understand. I pledged my sword and my soul to the High King. We all did. And he betrayed us. Nothing good, I'm sure. The Grey Host appeared out of nowhere and cut down my soldiers. Only a handful were able to escape before they sealed the gates. Svargrim made us fortify the entryways. The bastard knew he'd lock us out. Not that I can think of. But what does it matter? Svargrim brought the Grey Host down upon us. He's bringing a harrow storm. We need to evacuate the city while there's still time. Some of us will survive if we flee now.
That's unacceptable, Sorthane. If we can't get the sacred oil to make more elixir, then we have to stop the harrow storm.
Princess, we've kept watch. There aren't any witch pikes around the city.
Then you missed something. They needed the witch pikes for every other harrow storm they summoned.
Of course. Blackreach. The Grey Host must have gained access to the temple from beneath the city.
They could easily hide the witch pikes underneath our feet.
We know the Grey Host has been using Blackreach to clandestinely move around Western Skyrim. Why not launch their attacks from there?
Then we're going back to Blackreach. If the witch pikes are there, we'll destroy them.
Yorin sent me with a warning for Solitude. Now I'm about to march into the starless depths of Blackreach to try to avert a massacre. How do I keep getting myself into these kinds of situations? I thought you knew me better than that. Taking on the impossible challenge, beating the unbeatable foe. This is what I'm good at. So yes, I do have to do this. And we're going to win. We have to. Svargrim. To cast his lot with the Grey Host, become a vampire, threaten his own people with a harrow storm. It's madness. One thing's for certain. We have to stop him. One step at a time. First, we make our way down into Blackreach. Then we find the ritual site. It must be right beneath the city. We smash witch pikes and kill as many Grey Host bastards as possible. After that, we pray to Kyne and hope for the best.
My father. A vampire. He sat on his throne, pretended to mourn for my mother, and said he had a plan. But all the while he was preparing the city for the Grey Host. He's worse than a monster. He's a traitor and a liar. I know. It's just... Look, we were never close. Not really. But he's my father. My king. What about you? Could you do it? Could you confront and maybe even kill one of your parents? An honest answer. And so much like my own. But does my indecision put the people I'm sworn to protect in even more jeopardy? I need to think about that. I'm going to do whatever I can to stop the Harrow Storm and save Solitude and its people. After that, we decide what needs to be done about Svargrim.
As a junior member of House Ravenwatch, I never expected to be in the thick of things like this. I have to say, it's a tad overwhelming. Am I looking forward to going back to where Singolis experimented on me? Not even remotely. But I want to see this through to the end. I need to. The Grey Host can't summon the Harrowstorm without performing their ritual. And we know that requires witch pikes, so there's that. Plus the usual assortment of coven witches, vampires, and werewolves, I suppose. Nothing we can't handle, right? I had hoped to secure the sacred oil, and make enough elixir to distribute throughout the city. But we're running out of time. Our best bet now is to find the ritual site beneath Solitude and stop the Harrowstorm before it's unleashed. You're absolutely right. Especially after we found evidence of undermining down there. All I can say is that we were focused on other things. Let's go and save the city now, all right?
Blackreach. Suddenly every legend and camp story from my youth has returned to haunt us. While you and the others charge into the damn abyss, I'll prepare the city. We'll do what we can to keep the people safe. I'll rally my remaining soldiers and organize the city guard. We'll get everyone into the Blue Palace and defend them from there. I know it won't protect us from the Harrowstorm, but we'll be able to hold off the Grey Host if they decide to attack. And you as well. Find those damn witch pikes and destroy them before we're all turned into mindless husks. Or worse. And keep the princess safe. We need her.
That's ominous. And, unless I miss my guess, it's directly under Solitude. That's our target. The ritual site must be somewhere inside that horrid structure. I scouted the area before you arrived. It's full of Grey Host forces. And from what I could tell, Svagrim and Rada al-Saran are both inside. Not so fast. If we rush down as a group, they'll be on us like a snow bear on a horker. You go ahead. Try to cross the bridge to the main entrance. It's well guarded, but you're more than capable. Or you could try the alternative. There's a sluice gate in the outer courtyard, tucked away against the keep's eastern wall. The few patrols in that area can be avoided if you're stealthy. Opening the gate requires a key, but that should be simple enough to find. You know your strengths and weaknesses better than I do. Play to those. But whichever path you decide, move quickly. We need to find the ritual site and deal with the witch pikes before they unleash the Harrowstorm on the city. Cross the bridge or use the sluice gate to get into the inner courtyard. Then find the keep's side entrance east of the main stairs. I'll stay with Svanna and Finn. Make sure they don't get themselves killed. We'll meet you inside as soon as we can. That's a good question. I didn't see anything when I scouted the exterior, so the witch pikes must be somewhere inside the keep. I expect that once we find Svargrim and Rada al-Saran, we'll also find the ritual site. Nice of you to join us.
I don't understand. What am I supposed to do with these flasks?
If we run into trouble, throw one of them at the source. Then get out of the way. As I understand it, a vampire called Lady Yesenia controls Greymoor Keep. She welcomed the Grey Host and has been working with them to undermine Western Skyrim. The very stones of this keep. I sense something. We need to be on our guard. According to the Raven Watcher's research, no one actually owns the castle. Powerful individuals claim it from time to time, but the keep endures. Lady Yesenia is just the latest to occupy its halls. Why she's working with the Ashen Lord? Who can say? A feeling, like the very stones have been infused with powerful magic. It seems familiar, but it's also intense. I need some time to sort out and make sense of what I'm detecting.
I don't trust Yesenia's Blood Knights. How loyal can her creations be?
I'm not sure what's in these flasks, but Fen told me not to shake them, or drop them, or breathe on them too hard. Let's get inside and find the ritual site before the Harrow Storm begins.
Fen and Svanna weren't as helpless as I imagined. Still, it took all my skill not to draw the entire Grey Host down upon us. Let's get inside and look for that ritual site. We need to destroy the witch pikes or Solitude is doomed. We're about to enter the very heart of the Grey Host, and that's what you're thinking about? Get your head in the moment. We'll need you at your best if we're going to save Solitude. Split up and find the ritual site. We need to disrupt it.
Split up? I suppose that makes sense. I'll go with our friend here. This looks important. This book? I recognize the handwriting. It's Singalus's. It's more of his research. Harrowstorms, witch pikes, netherroot brew. How it all works together for the benefit of the Grey Host. This might be something. I just need to skim through these assumptions and incantations. What's this? Instructions on the placement of runes throughout Greymoor. All the way to... My gods! This entire tower! It's a witch pike! The magic I sensed earlier. It was familiar because it's the same magic used in the Harrowstorm rituals. Don't you see? This entire keep is the ritual site. They turned the tower into a witch pike. But at the scale, it's inconceivable. I'm not sure we can destroy this tower. We need to keep going. Find a way to disrupt the ritual. But I think I understand what they're doing. Zingalis found a way to release the Grey Host from Cold Harbor by using the Harrow Storms. The Harrow Storms steal life energy, and use it to pull the souls of the Grey Host out of Cold Harbor and into the Grey Reliquaries. It's quite ingenious. How they reincorporate, though. It has something to do with those stone husks, I think. Oh, most certainly. Perhaps even a way to reverse the effects of the Harrow Storms and restore the Harrowed. If the notes are complete, it would just require study, experimentation, and time. Unfortunately, we lack all three of those at the moment. I think this entire tower functions as a witch pike.
What? Fen, how is that even possible?
The energy!
That's my father! This way!
Pain is part of the process, Svargrim.
It's exquisite! My master!
Once you are attuned to Greymoor, the storm will be yours to command. Rise, Sorcerer, and unleash my storm upon Solitude. Then the last of the Grey Host shall be reborn.
The Ashen Lord. He turned Svargrim into the heart of his Harrow Storm.
They're moving higher up the tower. We need to follow them!
You and Fen take these stairs. Svanna and I will go this way.
Look, a Grey Reliquary. It's massive. Just like the storm they planned to unleash on the city.
And so the thorns arrive once more to prick my thumbs.
A barrier.
And Rada al-Saran?
Your persistence begins to annoy me, mortal. You killed my beloved brother and sister, Zingalis and Ulfra. I freed them, and you sent them back. Back to the hated Moloch Ball. I will see you suffer for the transgression. As much as it would please me to flay the flesh from your bones, I have more pressing matters to attend to. But know this, as I felt each death, you shall feel it when the Harrow Storm takes every life in Solitude. You shall feel it when you fail. Bold words, but futile. Svargrim rises, and the Harrow Storm with him. Once the attunement is finished, they will be unstoppable.
What happened? What did that damn vampire do?
He's merging the power flowing through the keep with Svargrim, giving him control of the Harrow Storm.
Then you must undo it. I'll stay and help. Lyris, you and our friend keep going up and find my father.
Waking up. Get ready to fight. Keep moving! Don't let them surround us!
We weren't able to stop the attunement spell. It's just getting stronger.
A tower. It must lead to the upper levels. I need time to get that door open.
Everyone, protect Ben!
Got it.
Good job. Through the door and to the upper levels now. Hurry!
Now, just... The hook. The shaking is getting worse.
Damn magic! Give me something to hit!
The magic. It's Al-Saran. The attunement is almost complete.
We need to find my father. Lyris, take Ben that way. We'll go the other.
The attunement is complete, Svarthrim. You and Greymoor keep are one.
I am unstoppable!
I leave the harrowing of
high up, but still far beneath the ground.
Abandon me in our moment of triumph? What game do you play, Rada al-Sarai?
Game? I gave you power. If you can't conquer Skyrim, the fault is your own. Now ascend to your Tower of the Wolf and unleash my most potent Herald Storm. The Grey Host is counting on you, little king.
This is connected to Castle Dower. How long has my father been planning this?
Hold, friends! We followed the booming voices. Where's Svargrim?
My father's ascended into solitude. But Rada al-Saran, I think he's leaving.
Interesting. Lyris assumed the Grey Host was preparing to attack, but it's just as possible they're relocating their forces.
We'll figure that out later, after we stop my father.
Fair enough. Friends, lead the way.
Oh my.
What is it now, Fen?
Oh, nothing. Just don't look down. Harrow Fiends. Is that what became of the herald Svargrim brought to Castle Dower?
Herald fiends, corralled like warhounds about to be set loose.
Up ahead! That's the temple's undercroft.
Look, above the Tower of the Wolf. The storm's only partially formed.
My father's up there. Open the gates and let's go.
The Hierophants below the temple. If they escape into the streets.
You and I will keep that from happening. Take the princess and deal with Svargrim, partner.
Yes. It's the only option. Let's go.
The Hierophants!
I'm with you, my
broken
friend.
loose!
Up the
Get
stairs.
to the tower and stop Svargrim. We'll hold the gate.
Come to bear witness to my ascension. Rada al-Saran has given me power beyond anything you can imagine. Behold!
For Mother. For Solitude. And for every soul in Skyrim. Your ambition, your greed, look what it led to! We need to hurry. My father betrayed everything to aid the Grey Host. With his death, Solitude is saved. It's done. We killed my father and ended the Herostorm. The city still stands. Skyrim still stands. Although the Tower of the Wolf may have been damaged beyond repair. No, of course not. My father was the High King of Western Skyrim. I always thought he had the best interests of our holds and our people in his heart. But there was a darkness there. Jealousy, bitterness. He wanted to control all of Skyrim. For Svargrim, yes, I think it was. As for Rada al-Saran and the Grey Host, I'm not entirely sure what they're after. Enough of this. I need to get to work. With my father gone, someone has to pick up the pieces and restore the holds. First, on behalf of Western Skyrim, take this with my thanks. We would have been lost without you. Then, rest. Check on our friends. Injuries must be tended to, buildings repaired. Other wounds will take longer. We'll have more to do soon enough. Whatever Rada al-Saran and the Grey Host were planning, I think the worst is behind us as far as Western Skyrim is concerned. With Svargrim dead, their grip on the holds comes to an end. Not officially. At least I don't think so. I feel like the whole world's crumbling around me. But the city's still standing, so that's something. I'm more worried about our friends. We left Lyris and Fen the hold of a horde of Hero fiends. Hopefully they were able to hold the courtyard and keep those monsters out of the city. You go on ahead and check on them. I need to collect myself. Solitude needs Princess Svanna now. And I'm not quite ready to be her. Thank you. Help them and anyone else as best you can. I'll do the same. Once you're done with them, I'll find you and we can figure out what to do next. Gods, I hope so. Haven't we dealt with enough already? I need to see what happened firsthand. All the suffering and pain my father caused. I can't undo it, but I can make amends. Or at least try to.
I couldn't hardly read. We found a warm dry cave, never saw a sign of morning. Up with an old frost stroll, which surprised us both come morning. Mead, it's all you really need. Sweet and it's strong, so good it can't be wrong.
Tell me truthfully, Lyris. How much of this blood is mine?
Not enough to be worried about. So, is it over? What happened to Svargrim? And where's Svanna? A parent's betrayal cuts deeper than a sword. But Svanna's strong. Stronger than she's been given credit for. And Solitude's going to need that strength in the coming days. If you told me the tavern rat we met at the Lonely Troll would become my choice to lead this land, I'd have called you mad. Then again, my king's a skald, so what do I know? Come on, there's probably something productive we should be doing. Last I heard, Sword Thane Uthlet was gathering everyone he could at the Hall of the Dead. Head over there and see how they weathered the Harrow Storm. I'll take care of securing Castle Dower. As for Fen, you might remind him we need a lot of elixir. We did our best to hold the Harrow Fiends inside Castle Dower, but nothing short of stone walls were going to keep those monsters from pushing through. Seemed like everyone I killed was replaced by 2 more. Almost didn't. We were nearly overrun before Fen went wild. I've never seen him like that, snarling and showing what a true vampire can do. Took the Harrow Fiends by surprise and we routed them. I did have to thwack him to clear his head, though.
You did it. I shouldn't be surprised. But things were looking rather bleak before the clouds parted. We held the gate as long as we could, but the Harrow Fiends were a flood of claws and teeth. Once they burst through, Lyris cleaved through them like a scythe through wheat. But even she couldn't stem the tide. I'm not really sure. I kind of went wild. Let out my inner beast, as it were. I was rending and slashing. Then Lyris whacked me with the flat of her blade. At least that's the last thing I remember. Not my finest hour, but we survived. The Sword Thane gathered people in the Hall of the Dead. Go check on them while I pull myself together. This whole ordeal has been a lot more strenuous than I'm accustomed to. Then I'll get to work on the elixir and a cure for the Herod. Sadly, I don't think there's any hope for them. Their life energy was sucked dry, turning them into feral beasts. Restoring them is beyond my capabilities, I'm afraid. At least with the Herod, they're not so far gone as to be a lost cause. As soon as we produce enough of it, yes. We saw how it protected Svanna. Now, where did I put my flask?
Good to see you aren't raising bugs with Ismir just yet.
We saw the storm break, but we heard nothing since you departed from Blackreach.
I regret we didn't throw a parade to welcome you back, but I'll cheer enough for 100 souls if you tell me you put that backbiter of a High King to the sword. But what of Svanna? Is she? That's good. But a daughter shouldn't have to kill her own father. Svanna has my support, for whatever that's worth. She's going to need all the help she can get in the days to come. Not until we hold a moot to support her claim, and we need more than a single Jarl for that to occur. If Svanna proves herself as the acting Jarl, they might look past her father's failings and make her the queen. eventually. We can settle the matter of the crown when there's kingdom enough to rule. What remains of the holds are still ravaged by the harrow storms, and I doubt we've seen the last of the Grey Host, for that matter. None good, but none bad either. My wife knows better than anyone how to care for our people. I trust she and my Thane to protect and care for Morthal in my absence.
We seem to have survived, thank the gods. I thought for certain we were all about to witness the end of the world. No thanks to Svargrim, damn his eyes. After you and the princess went off to Blackreach, I gathered whoever we could, and made our stand here in the Hall of the Dead. I'm just glad we don't have to be permanent residents. Far fewer than I feared when the storm began. Thanks to you and the princess. With the storm over and the Grey Host driven from Castle Dower, my soldiers will get the city back into shape. As long as no one else attacks us in the meantime.
They're here! They're at the gates!
The Grey Host? I thought we were done with them for now.
Not the Grey Host! The Skald King with an army from the east!
What treachery is this?
To the gates. We'll give the Skull King a proper welcome, one way or another.
I heard Tenmar Walk was full of Daedra. You're no milk drinker, that's
You
for
have
sure.
any experience with another infernal hell?
I could make
Pleased to see you in solitude, stranger.
Stand down, you idiots! We come in peace.
Partner, could really use your knack for diplomacy right now. Speak to the Skull King before we start a war.
Sure save me from fools and prophets. Will no one properly greet a weary traveler? Oh, familiar face. Maybe you can talk some sense into these Western milk drinkers. We're not a damn invasion. We're here to help. Do you know what's going on? So the rumors are true? Svargrim joined the Grey Host? I knew he had ambitions, but to throw away his humanity like that, it's inconceivable. Svargrim once told me that he would die before welcoming me to solitude. I suppose he was right. That's why I sent Lyris here in the first place. I'm not the king of these holds, though. I can't do anything if they refuse my help. Svargrim despised me. He would never accept my aid. But Svanna... here she comes now. Let's see what she has to say.
We have no need of help that involves welcoming your soldiers within our walls.
My walls, Jarl. My father may have been willing to slap aside a helping hand, but I'm not. Permit me a word with your envoy, Skald King. Thank you. For holding the line, I mean. I'm ready to do what I should have done a long time ago. To do what my father never could. I'll speak with the Skald King. There's one more thing I'd like you to do while I entertain our guests. We saved Solitude, but our war with the Grey Host is far from over. We need Fenn's elixir more than ever. With that, and King Yoren's help, we might just push these monsters back into their grave for good. Check on Fenn's progress, please. That depends on Fenn. If there's anything standing in his way, let me know, and I'll do everything in my power to get him what he needs. Fenn is with old Mjolnir at the Mages Guild. When you're finished with him, join me in the courtyard of the Blue Palace. I'm going to hold a moment of remembrance for this city. We all need a moment to mourn what we lost. I'm going to invite the Skald King to join us. If the people of Solitude see him bow his head along with the rest of us, they may not care about the divide between the East and the West.
I was not expecting Princess Svana to be so commanding. I'd heard... well, I'm glad that not all the rumors I've heard about the state of Solitude are true.
Did the princess say something about an elixir? Windhelm will provide whatever resources are necessary to produce as much of an elixir as possible.
I should remain with the Skald King. I trust you can handle Svana's request without me.
Well?
You look even more suspicious than I do.
Ingenious. A rare thing to find an elf with the makings of a clever woman.
Despite what my kin might proclaim, it's not all in the blood. Ah, good, you're here. We've made a breakthrough. I was just discussing a theory with Mjolnir, and it seems like we're very close to turning this elixir into a true restorative. A cure. Singolis's research on the nether root showed me just how it weakens the connection between a body and soul. Thus far, I've been able to inure a person to the root, but now I'm certain I can use that knowledge to heal those weakened bonds. Well, it is just a theory at this point. There's a lot more testing and experimentation to be done before we can produce a viable antidote. Weeks, optimistically? I know. We can't simply put things on hold. Mjolnir and I have a batch brewing right now, and materials to keep producing for another day. Ingert's promised us a steady supply of Arcase oil, but that's not our limiting factor. We know enough about Singolis's refinement processes to replicate his methods, but we still need a source of netherroot to do so. Tell Svana that if she can keep us supplied, we can produce enough elixir for all the holds in a matter of weeks. We can ransack Greyhost's stockpiles, or mount an expedition into Blackreach. Otherwise, it would take decades of work to produce a proper crop. After we get the elixir squared away, we'll turn our attention to curing the Herald. Indeed. As I surmised, the Grey Reliquaries contained the remains of ancient Greyhost warriors. They served as a connection to the souls trapped in Cold Harbor. Using the energy from the Harrow Storms, the souls were pulled into the stone husks. I believe the stone husks are incubators of a sort. The physical forms of the Grey Host are reincorporated within the stone vessels, through a mix of Singolis's alchemy and sorcery, and the magic of the Ice Reach witches. When whole, they burst free.
This one wonders if the meat
What do you want?
I was hoping you'd return before we began. Tell me you've got good news. I feel a lot better delivering a speech about healing and hope, knowing that we're on the road to recovery. What did Fen have to say about the elixir? Not the best news, but I'll take it. So long as we have enough to protect our soldiers, we have a fighting chance against the Grey Host. I'll go to the Undergrove myself, if that's what it takes. Now that would be cause for celebration. If he can really bring back even a fraction of those we lost to the Herostorms, I'm willing to try. That's all I needed to hear. We should begin the ceremony before the crowd grows more restless. Nothing fancy, just a traditional Nord wake. To mourn and celebrate those we've lost, and cherish the lives we still have. I'd like you to join us. None of us would be here to sing dirges for the dead or celebrate the living if not for you. I certainly wouldn't be here, ready to lead my hold. You've supported me since I started down this path. I'm honored to have you here at the end. Sons and daughters of Skyrim, we have the honor today of remembering the dead.
Honor
to the fallen.
Sons and daughters of Skyrim, our trials were fierce, but we are still here.
We stand and we remain.
Now, we raise our voices to tell Sovngarde of the coming of the worthy dead, and to tell the world that the Nords are still here. We are still standing!
The fallen now march home to hallowed halls, to join our ancestors in boundless drink and song and brawls. Let's sound the horns, let peal the bells, let loose the ancient hymn. We will remain until time ends, we children of Skyrim.
I can't think of a more fitting send-off for my father than Nords of both kingdoms mourning side by side. Skyrim may be divided, but at least our honored dead are united in Sovngarde. Yoren, Redharn, and I need to form a plan to distribute Fen's elixir and push back against the Grey Host. And acquire more netherroot, it seems. There's a lot to be done, but I'm surrounded by good people. I trust we'll get through this together. I can't leave everything to you, you know. Well, I probably could. But even Greymoor took a rest now and again. Let us shoulder the burden for a while. I'm sure I'll need to call on you again soon enough. I don't know. It's not important, not right now. What matters is rallying the people against the enemy. Our real enemy. If that means seeking the crown, then I'll do what needs to be done. Sovngarde is a place for the honored dead. Svargrim gave up his seat in the Hall of Valor when he made his pact with the Ashen Lord. Wherever he is, I hope he regrets how he got there.
I'm glad to be done with this. Diplomacy and investigation aren't my favorite pastimes. They seem to suit you, though. You stepped up to the task better than I could have hoped. I'll be staying so long as Yoren's here. Or until I can persuade him to send me after Rada al-Saran. That leech owes a lot of blood to us, and I intend to squeeze it out of him. We have to find him first. Whatever his plans were after sacking Solitude, we haven't uncovered them. With any luck, the Skald King will send me on a raid of the Grey Host, and I can beat some answers out of a few of them. Count on it.
I hadn't had a moment to honor the fallen of Morthal since you came to my doorstep. Kind willing, they made their passage to Sovngarde. When things are settled here, Jarl March has weathered these storms better than Hafingar and Carthol. If we can keep the kingdom from complete collapse, it's worth a few weeks away from my home and hearth.
Princess Jarl Svanna reminds me more of the Queen every passing moment. We're in good hands, I think. I'll pledge myself to her, if she'll have me. I was fool enough to follow Svargrim as long as I did, so it's more than I deserve. He did, but I was by his side day in and day out. If anyone should have seen what he was becoming and put a stop to it, it was me. I owe a lot to Solitude for my failure. If Svanna allows me to repay it, I'll be glad.
In their own way, the people of Western Skyrim are as strong as the Nords of the East. Even after so much suffering, they still stand against the howling wind. We shall do everything within our power to help them recover. Blood alone does not make one worthy to rule a hold, let alone an entire kingdom. The princess will lead for now, but many questions must be answered before the Jarls crown a new ruler of Solitude. That's what a moot is for. If Princess Svanna agrees, I want to bring more of my people from Eastmarch to help restore Solitude and the Western Holds. My retinue is too small to deal with everything. We need more hands. All I can do is to offer my aid in good faith. Whether they decide to grab my hand or to slap it away, that's up to them. Despite our differences, I love this land. It's as much Skyrim as my beloved Eastern Holds. I would not see it suffer. Today, no, the time isn't right. As for the future, who can say? Svargrim was never interested in finding a path to reconciliation. Princess Svanna isn't a father, that much is clear. So I suppose I can hope.
I won't let what happened to Carthwatch happen anywhere else. If the Reachmen think they can take my homeland, I have an axe that will teach them otherwise. I must find a new home for my brothers and sisters of Carthwatch. My brother Fenrar spoke to Jarl Redhan. It may be that we settle in Morthal. I think Bjorra would prefer the high walls of Solitude, though. Wherever we go, we'll stick together.
We've had a long road from Carthwatch to here, but all of us survived the journey unharmed. We are together, thanks to you. Our town may be gone, but thank the gods Solitude didn't suffer a similar fate. Our town is lost. I've heard stories of towns left empty and untouched after fire, sickness, or storm. I don't see Carthwatch's fate being any different. As for the Hold, I suspect the Reachmen take control. There's no one left to fight back. Nothing new, thank the Eight. But the memories of what those witches put in my head still haunts me. What could it mean? The sisters, I believed I am descendants of some Reach hero, but I have no interest in that. As far as I care, I am a Nord.
soon as we heard the news, Claudina insisted we come to offer whatever aid we could. Once again, you have proven yourself to be incredibly brave and downright fearless. If there's anything I can do to help, just ask. Claudina seems intent on going back to Blackreach. After we help the poor people of this place rebuild, we'll head there. Spirits may not have been the culprits of what happened in Dusktown, but that doesn't mean they aren't down there.
The bastards who did this. I'm sorry we didn't get a chance to make them pay for it. But we're done chasing ghosts below ground for now. We're here to help however we can. Once we help the people of Solitude get back on their feet, I imagine we'll go back to Blackreach. Though our initial investigation didn't reveal anything supernatural, there is still much to uncover and explore. I do not believe our work here is over.
Mother always told me stories of growing up in Solitude, but I never expected it to feel like this. All these people, and buildings are so close together. How does anyone live here without feeling trapped? As funny as it is to say, out of place. I spent so long in exile. I'm happy to be home. Mother has been so kind to me, but there is so much I need to mend with her, with my father. But I'm here, thanks to you. We all are, as I hear.
My friend, you have done so much for the holds of Western Skyrim. I fear it is a debt that can never be repaid. And bringing Freywin back to us, you will always have my thanks. Freywin's return is a blessing. Some have just taken longer to understand that. Sadly, there are no balms for broken trust.
After everything I've seen, I can no longer place my faith in Meridia. But I refuse to abandon my friends. We will attempt to seal the temple and purge the corruption. If it were up to me, I would leave it in ruins.
Mother always told me stories of growing up in Solitude.
I could not have said it better myself. Princess Svanna will make a fine ruler. Of course, some may choose to blame her for her father's misdeeds, but I will seek forgiveness from them. There have been enough divisions of blood and feuding. It is a new day. This is a time to mend rifts and forge new bonds.
We made it through, if barely. When the clouds began to gather over Castle Dower, I feared I'd have to witness. Thank you for stopping it. I don't know that my heart could bear another Carthwatch. The rest of Carthold fared as poorly as its capital. The hold has been laid to waste, its people dead or scattered. With so few left to rebuild and resettle, I fear the Reachmen will come to claim it long before the Nords set roots there again. I have already pledged myself to Svanna. I will serve as her court mage. I hope to counsel her better than I did Jarl Ulfwen. For now, I've used my status in the Mages Guild to solicit their aid in producing the Harrowstorm elixir.